So we want to give you guys a tour of the electric fence that we put in for the goats, and we'll show you how we have ours set up, and we'll show you what we got going. Are you guys coming? Come on. Come on. They're playing hard to get. They'll come eventually. So the main thing with an electric fence is you don't want any grass or any weeds or any sticks, nothing touching the electric fence. And if it does, your electric fence won't work properly. That little shed there, the electric fence starts from this shed right here, and it continues all the way around. So we're gonna extend the electric fence into this area so that they can eat all this shrub as well. But right now we're just keeping them contained to this area. So the stuff here is still pretty long, as you can see. It's about, some areas knee high. Hey guys, come on. Oh, see here, we gotta fix this. See how the gap here is too big? I gotta be careful to not touch the gap was too big between them. And if the gaps are too big between the electric fence and the rows, the goats will escape. They're escape artists. So we had this log that's been down here for years and years, probably before we even moved here. And it's too much work to move it, so we just kind of went around it or over it. As you can see, it jumps up and then back down. Then it goes along here. Oops, almost fell. Goes along here, and yeah, like I said, all this we're gonna extend it up here so they can eat that eventually. But oh yeah, that's okay. So we got this bamboo kind of weed bush thing that grows here, and they look like bamboo, and then they're hollow inside. And if you, this is what they look like when they break down. But when you put them in fire, they actually explode. It sounds like firecrackers. Hey. The goats like eating them. They're pretty juicy when they're green. But like I said, when they're brown like this, and you put them into fire, they actually explode. So that's why we haven't extended the electric fence out there yet, because there's still quite a bit they can eat here. So I still got a little bit of time before they eat all this stuff down. So as you can see, you see how the grass there is a lot lower. I went around with a weed whacker and I cut all underneath the bottom rows to keep any weeds or anything touching the bottom, because that's the main thing. Is usually the bottom row is where all the weeds and the grass will be touching. Right there, there's a leaf. Hopefully I don't get shocked. Oh, there's one there too. Where we live, we get a lot of spiders, so their cobwebs usually will also catch leaves and debris that will make your electric fence not work properly. So yeah, the electric fence comes all the way here, and then it ends at this tree. And they're, as you can see, like they all kind of go down, so every row is connected. So now let's go over and I'll show you. So right now, this is our decoy electric fence. So far they haven't figured it out yet, but we put this up temporarily just to make them think it's also live, but it's actually not. See, this one's not live. I hope. Okay, good. Okay, wasn't live. So anyway, so this is our decoy. So we put this up just to keep the goats to not go this way on the property just yet. As you can see, I went with the trimmer and I mowed this down. So this is a whole different electric fence. Hold on. So this part, this is one of our solar electric fence. It's called the Patriot, and it's a heavy duty one, and it works great. If you actually listen, I don't know if it'll pick it up, but you can hear a zap where the light flashes. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's live. So this one here is different than the one I just showed you guys. So we actually went around. So I wanted to show you where the actual electric fence terminal, I don't know what you would call it, the thing that makes it zap. So here's this one here. It's also a Patriot. It's a solar one. This is the first one we bought. So you just have to make sure it's pointed towards the sun for the most part, and you connect one of these positive, and then here's the ground, the negative, and we just hook it onto one of the wires here. And like I said earlier, they're all actually connected. So every row, the wires kind of run between every single row. And yeah, that's our electric fence. And hopefully they'll eat this part down, and then we can move them onto here and back there. So today's job is to fix this electric fence that goes all the way around, and there's some trees that fell on the electric fence here that we gotta investigate. So that's the game plan. This is the electric fence that we're gonna work on next. And then it goes up there, but we'll go for a walk. First thing though, we gotta shut this guy off so we don't get zapped. So right now this is disconnected. We're gonna walk down and check out, make sure it's nice and clean, there's no weeds, and see where stuff is touching it, like this bush right here touching the electric fence. So this bush, bye bye bush. Alright, so you can tell this guy is going to be a problem too. So we'll just break him off. So right here we got some big gaps, so we got to come back and add some more, fix this. You can see here there's too many lines crossed, so we'll have to fix this because there's some more. Goats will find a way through. So I have to come through this part here with the weed whacker some more to cut this stuff back. Still too close. Same with these two, they're too close, we'll cut them back. And then comes through here and it's going that way. So I think first thing we're gonna do is disconnect the electric fence that goes that way, because clearly that one is being touched by the bush. And then we'll focus on this one going all the way around. So yeah, as you can see, all this is being touched here with by the weeds. So, oh, yep. Not gonna look pretty from this point on. So this is where we used to keep our calves. And as you can see, this massive walnut, I think it's a walnut, pretty sure it is. This walnut tree fell and it landed on the roof of the cow hutch, but it didn't actually destroy it. And then we gotta come fishing here. So we got all these sticks to pick up and then bring up the hill, and then we're gonna make a fire, not including we gotta cut this tree down with a chainsaw. So what I did was I cut underneath all the electric wire, like the bottom wire there, got it all cleaned off. This whole hill here, I cleaned off the whole hill because if you don't want your goats to go somewhere, you pretty much need to discourage them from going to that area and give them a reason not to. So if we don't want our goats to come into this area here, and we got our electric fence running this way, then what you want to do is clear everything here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm clearing the whole hill so that they don't even want to come and look down this hill when they're up here and they're grazing. They don't want to even look down here for any food because there's nothing going to be there, because I'm going to weed whack it all down. So then they'll stay up here and want to eat the shrub up here and not want to cross the electric fence, which they have a tendency of doing. And while I was actually filming, they went around and got out because I left the gate open. So goats are a handful. The most important thing to a proper working electric fence is making sure there is no debris, no leaves, sticks, shrubs, anything touching your electric fence. The moment you have a stick or grass or weeds touching your electric fence, the electric fence will either not work at all or it will lose a lot of power. So when an animal does touch it, it won't get zapped as hard as they would without anything touching it. So you want to make sure there's nothing touching your electric fence, that the wind, like a storm, can't blow any weeds or shrubs over and make it touch. You make sure it's clear. That's the most important thing. And with goats, they take a bigger zap than any other livestock animal. Even a cow and a horse you can typically keep back with 1 or 2 strings of electric fence, where a goat, you've seen how we have about 5 rows of electric fence running across just to make sure they don't try to sneak out, and they will always test it. So if you have goats, make sure your electric fence is working at full capacity, because they are goats and they will test it. And a goat will take a zap knowing it can get to the other side. So that's why you want to make sure the spacing between the rows of electric fence are not big enough for them to want to jump or dive through, because they will try to sneak through if the gap is big enough. So that's actually what I have to do next. I have to go around to all the areas on our property where we only have 3 strings of electric fence and add 2 more, and make sure the gaps in between aren't big enough for them to sneak through, crawl under, or want to jump over.